Hello, so today we're going to talk about, continuing on from my last video, we're going to just talk about the dependent t-test. So that is basically concerning a subject that you've basically done the same thing to. So the results of the first test and the second test are linked. So in this example here, we have the researchers given some free caffeine chewing gum by a company that wants to break into the market. So they claim that giving the caffeine gum would be better than caffeine gel at improving power output and RPE. So the researcher asked the same 27 people to do the trial on the caffeine gum. So because we see here that the question asks the same 27 people, what this is asking is, was there a difference in RPE and power output in the caffeine gum versus the placebo gum? So to test this, they got the same people to take the caffeine gum and then take the placebo. So that's the first part of the question, and that's what we're looking at today. So again, we're looking at a test of difference. So how were the results of the caffeine gum and placebo gum different? So if we jump into Jamovi again, we've got all the data, but we're only interested in the gums in this example. So if we simply go to t-tests and paired samples t-test, paired meaning that the subjects both took both the placebo and the caffeine. So here we got the value here where it just compares the two. And the first thing we have to do is similarly to the independent, we have to check for only for normality this time, not homogeneity. So again, we've got the p-value and that's above 0.05, so we're good to go, and we can continue with our t-test. So we can deselect that, and then so we've got our t-statistic here, we've got degrees of freedom, and we've got our p-value. So that's all in great, but let's add some extra detail onto this, which can tell us a bit more. So we've got the mean difference, so if we add some descriptives, we can see this. So the mean RPE, or watts, between the placebo and the caffeine are here. So you can see when people actually took the caffeine gum, their results fell in this example, and you can see the difference in means here. So yeah, if we add a bit of a confidence intervals to give us that extra descriptive on the degrees of the mean and in the results, and then lastly we'll just add the effect size, which is again coherence deep because we're doing a parametric test. And the next example, it's a bit smaller than the last one in the independent test, so it's only 0.6. So it doesn't really matter what you call it, as long as you're not calling large results small results. So in this case, I'll call that a median effect size. But if you're calling 0.2 a median, then you're clearly wrong. So if we jump into Word again and kind of a word together. So what I did, so I just wrote paired t-test, and I wrote there was a significance difference between the caffeine gum RPE, which was 13.2. So if we just put Jamovi here and get the results up. So caffeine gum RPE 13.2, which is seen here for the caffeine group, and the standard deviation, because we're doing parametric test, we stick with the mean and standard deviation. Then we talk about the placebo group, so 14.7 and 1.49 for the placebo group here. Then we report the difference, so the difference in means was minus, made a mistake here, so it should be 1.52, and then the 95% confidence intervals seen here. Then we just report the t-statistic with our degrees of freedom, so 3.39, and the p-value. And this p-value again tells us that the results were significant because it's below 0.05. Lastly, just to round things off, we mentioned the median-sized effect size, which then can be used to compare other studies. So yeah, that's all for today, and thank you.